Here is this General Electric branded portable air conditioner. I'm going to do a teardown video of this tonight. Found this in the trash, and someone had it apart, judging by this being all loose. So we're going to see what the issue is with it. For all I know, this could be a perfectly functioning unit, and if it's like dropped or something, I don't know. So we'll plug this in, see what this does. This plug appears to be so this vent here is like moving. Oh, there it goes. So we have some segments on the display that aren't working. It's like, I think it's supposed to say 73. I don't know. I don't know if it's in the cool or dehumidification setting. I don't know what fan speed it's on. Low, medium, and then high. I think the control board on this is spoiled. It's the air scan. Adjusted, I think, a bit more to where it's supposed to be. That looks more correct. How warm is the air coming out the back here? Yeah, it's warm. These units, they don't do very good at, like, actually, like, cooling his area, but they do a pretty good job at dehumidification with these, with the little hose snubs or whatever on the back. Hook a drain up to it, and then use it for, as a dehumidifier. I find these work very good for that. That might actually be what I'll do with this unit, because I will need an extra dehumidifier if my Frigidaire fails. I'll have to see how good this one does at that. But if this one does a pretty good job at dehumidification, I'll probably actually keep this piece of junk. But thinking the control board on it's spoiled, because that's what it was. We have segments out on the display. It could just be a bad connection. The connector might have some corrosion on it. Filter is sweaty yet. Is there a sticker? Here's a sticker. Well, it's a 9.2 amp unit. It's rated at a little under 8,000 BTUs. I don't know, because it says adjusted, so that's probably what it's actually cooling. And if this was a dual hose unit or a typical window unit, this would probably be about a 10K. Like I said, this 9.2 amps doesn't say anything about the wattage or anything. I didn't bother putting the kilowatts meter on here. I might in the future. I hear refrigerant flowing. The coils, they don't feel cold yet, but I feel heat coming out the back of it, out of the discharge hole, which is a good sign that the unit does work. It's actually really hot too. There's a lot of air coming out of there. It doesn't really feel cold, but if it's pumping heat out the back, that normally means that it's working. There could also be a fault condition with the compressor causing that. I'm not too sure. We're going to turn it off and see if it actually closes the vent or anything. And I'm going to hook the kilowatts meter up to this, and we'll do some power draw tests. The unit is off. So, grab the kilowatts. That's if I know where I put it. I think we'll set this probably right here. So we'll see how much this thing draws just sitting here. So for whatever reason, it's opening the vent and then closing the vent. 3.1 watt, 0.04, now it drops to 0.02 now that it's off. 1.4 watts. So this thing's just gonna sit here and waste energy if it's not being used. Let's see if it remembers. It does not. So it waits for the vent to open. Turns on the fan. So when it goes into cooling, it waits a little bit. Well, it turns on the outdoor fan, it waits a little bit, and then kicks the compressor on. Now that we have the compressor on, I believe we're on high fan. No, it's low. This is high fan. We'll use high fan for these tests. We go on high fan, drawing 1,020 watts, 9.28 amps. I think it's over spec. Yeah, 9.2. So it's ever so slightly over spec. We'll let this run for a little bit. Turn on the air scan again. Now that I think the air scan's in calibration, we can actually see what the proper sweep of this would be. The fan on this thing is really powerful. the air on this definitely carries, so that's pretty good. I was going to part this out. I needed the fan motor bearings out of this, but the thing still works, and it's very nice and powerful. I might end up using this somewhere in the house. Probably as a dehumidifier, or out here in the garage. I don't really like to part out perfectly good working equipment, especially if it has a good sealed system. At slow speed, the outside fan stays at one continuous speed. It is still pumping a lot of heat out the back here. Something of note is the lower filter for the condenser. It has a screw on it, actually 2 screws that hold it closed. So apparently you can't just remove the filter easily and clean it, which I think is kind of strange. I don't think I've ever really seen any sort of modern unit like that. I've seen vintage ones, but never really anything this new. Throwing out the heat. Definitely would condensate because I see rust along the side of the coil. It's blowing out pretty. Oh, it's starting to condensate along the top now. Okay. I might have to let this run for a little bit. This isn't going in all the way anymore. So in terms of wattage, how it's running right now on low fan, with the air scan turned off, have 1,087. So it's definitely gone up a little bit. I don't know if that's just because the fan is off and the head pressure is arose or anything like that. You switch it back up to high. See if that makes a difference. No, it actually increased. I see a bit of... That might be mold in there. I can't tell if that's dust or mold, but there is some sort of debris there. This was going to be a teardown video, but since this unit works, I don't want to part it out, and I kind of don't feel like tearing anything apart tonight. I also have this crappy Whirlpool dehumidifier here, which needs to be tested. So I think we'll test that in this video as well. I'll let this run for a little bit. I'm going to move these materials out of the way. And it tripped the circuit. I think we tested it enough to know that this thing actually works. So, we'll be back shortly. So now we're going to mess with this Whirlpool. From my knowledge, these units are recalled. I found this one in the trash. Found a lot of these in the trash, actually. This one, someone must have had a paint project going on because there's like speckles all over the thing. I've had a couple of these, and all the ones that I've had, they never worked. They always leak their charge or get low on charge. This one Roper that was really nice, but it had a refrigerant on it. I don't think these ever had filters. We'll slide this in. It's still in frame. Plug's a bit jacked up, so fix that, and that back into shape. Currently, sitting here doing nothing, it draws 0.01 to amps and 1.2 to watts. So, yeah, let's just waste some energy here when the machine isn't even doing anything productive. I'll fire it up. Actually, let's see what the power factor is. Power factor is 0.80. It's kind of fluctuating. A noisy fan motor. Well, it sounds like it has Freon in it. It's very loud, as these are. These things are so noisy. A friend of mine had one of these. It was an okay machine. This thing is so noisy. You suck air in on the front and they blow it out the back. See if I can see what compressors in this. They're normally Retchy. Ouch. I can't tell, and nor do I really want to shine a torch in there to see. If this unit's actually kind of good and I end up taking it apart and cleaning it and using it, I honestly don't trust it, because these electronic controls, they have issues. No annoying beep. Low fan. The fan might be out of balance, because that does shake a lot on this. That could also be the compressor. The control set on this is very basic. Still electronic controls, so I don't really trust it. I'm not sure if this model was recalled or not. I have one other dehumidifier I can show, but I know for certain that one's out of charge, because me and my friend, we let that run for like 6 hours and nothing happened. That one will get a teardown. That's a GE made by Gree. That one's not one of the recalled models. Currently running on low speed, this is drawing 6.92 amps. 435 watts. It's pretty efficient. I don't know what this is rated for, because the information is behind that bucket, and if I pull that bucket out, it's going to start screaming at me. Now, this is a power factor of 0.53. Has that really nice refrigerant sound to it. I'm gonna let this run for a little bit, and then I'm gonna come back and shut it off. It's about 10 minutes later. More like 8. It's been running for a bit. I don't know if we have any condensate or anything on it, but it has really nice refrigerant noises, so I'm going to guess this one actually works. This one also appears to be a lot quieter than these normally are. Now, someday, probably tomorrow, so I plan on being over here doing work. But one of these days, I'm going to let this run for a while when I'm here, because I don't want to leave this unattended. I don't trust this thing. It might spontaneously combust and take all my valuables with it. So, yeah, but currently we're drawing 6.69 amps, about 7. 436 watts. And a power factor of 0.55. pull the bucket out. Got a red DEL on there. It's not screaming at me or anything. Bucket looks fine. Float still exists. It's not broken off like one of the other ones I have. See, they did have a drain plug hooked up on this because it is drilled out. And there is that water line. This is something I don't understand. Why is the drain tube right here about halfway up the unit and not at the bottom? Like how they used to be. Or the pipe doesn't like go in or thread into the bottom of the machine or something. I don't know. It's a really stupid idea to me because that means you get still water in here and then dirt kind of gets trapped in here, and then this is already a hard thing to clean. So, and pretty much all the water that this does take out is kind of dirty. This one doesn't have a filter on it, so. So this is a model AD65U SM2. So if anyone wants to look up and see if that's recalled, that's the number. The sticker looks like coming off, so I can't even see some of the information. It's rated for 65 pints per hour. I don't know if that's the new or old standard. It has good old R22, 115 volts, 7.5 amps. So it's running around spec. Anything, it doesn't say the wattage, but I don't really need that. And I can't tell if the coil is cold or not because all I get is this little piece here is connected to a styrofoam tray. But I do see, looks like the coils are a bit moist. So this thing probably does work. I wonder if I slide this back in, if it'll automatically restart. So we can see what the fan draws by itself. 58 watts on low, on high. $109 watts. This seems like a shaded pole, yeah. 0.58. 1.53 the amps. And then on low speed, 0.76 the amps. What the heck? I think this thing is possessed. I don't know if that was the bucket or something. Bucket was a bit loose. Yeah, I could see that being a cause of a recall. If the bucket's not in all the way and then the unit does whatever that is, it looked like it was trying to cycle the compressor when it was doing that and it was messing with the lights. So I don't think that's safe at all. But that would definitely be a good cause for a recall on this machine. Consumer Product Safety Commission, they're very vague on what the issues are with these items, so I don't know if it would be easy to, like, understandable if this fails or anything, but I'd be curious what the, if that was the issue, because I could see that being an issue, because the bucket was kind of tilted. It was not in the machine all the way. And whenever it was shaking to try to start the compressor for some reason, and it was doing that, it didn't go into any sort of thermal overload or anything. Let this run a little bit. We'll see if it kicks back on. I do want to keep filming if it does kick on, because I'm curious if it will do that again. It probably won't, since the bucket is in all the way. I have to wait like 3 minutes or something. Doesn't say what its delay is. Normally they don't. You know, Fetters, they put that on some of their units. This is not a Fetters product. I'm running out of commentary to say. I don't really have anything else to say. I just want the thing to turn on. Well, it appears to be working now. I have to say, this is probably one of the most annoying dehumidifiers I've ever heard. This thing sounds absolutely awful. It's so obnoxious. I was hoping both of these units would be spoiled, but I don't think they are. The GE unit, it works kind of. It has some control board issues, but besides that, it seems to run just fine. And this World Drill, it appears like it works fine. I need to do some further testing on it. But yeah, it seems to be copacetic with the exception of its stupid design flaw, but besides that, it seems to be an okay unit. And it's not anything I'd leave running unattended, but it does work. I'm curious how this would do, because it does get very humid and moist in here, so probably by tomorrow morning it will be crazy humid in here. I don't know if we're getting rain tonight or not. Rain always makes it really bad in here. And if we get rain, that's a good way to... Good test. So, turn this off now, and I'm going to stop the video so I can go sleep. Yeah, I still hear refrigerant flowing. So, most likely, charging's still fine. So, yeah, nothing to rub cords off of, but, yeah, it's fine.